Hello everyone, my name is PJ and this is my friend Tyler and welcome back to
2P Amnesia, Part 8.
Yep, so we're reading this note here called Agrippa Channel's Wire. I just skimmed over it real quick. It looks like it's written by Alexander, which is weird. There are notes in this game written by Alexander. I don't know why. He's got those memory cylinder things too. I guess it's supposed to be more private? How is Daniel even reading them?
Well, obviously, Daniel is the main character.
Main character syndrome. Okay. Wire taunts me from the other side. I trusted him with my true reason for my efforts, and still he insists on me releasing Agrippa. How an enlightened man can show such lack of compassion in a seat of power disgusts me. I can't bring myself to part from Agrippa as he is, and has been for centuries, my only link to the worlds beyond. Wire claims he tries his best to release me from my banishment, but that he needs me to give him Agrippa first so that he too can help. So he was banished?
Well, yes. Alexander was banished, yes.
If he could guarantee success, I would happily oblige, but how am I to part from him if my return might be denied? I know what they are capable of. I have seen their deception. Optimism is the most hopeless feeling, but I must retain it. I shall prepare for his release. Okay, so basically he's holding Agrippa hostage because if he gets rid of him, then he will have no way guaranteed to get back to his world.
Yeah, so basically Wire is just trying to trick him into giving him Agrippa so that he has no chance, right?
I guess so. To release Agrippa without killing him, Wire told me to feed him a tonic made from a paralyzer, vitae, and tempter. So 3 ingredients. The poisonous fungi should work as a paralyzer if I can find the internal gland from a large specimen. The choir seems to be a fertile grounds for this sort. I should then be able to extract its contents with the proper tools. The vitae could be extracted as usual from any agonized human victim's blood. I just need large amounts to distill it properly. Remember to collect this during the next torture session. Tempter, on the other hand, will prove more difficult. I don't think it exists in this world. Simply writing the word with these letters looks wrong. I believe it's a property of the secretion in the water-dwelling cank. I will have to address Wire with this, as he will have to supply me with a host. Also, a properly prepared well should suffice to contain it.
Okay, so we're starting to put the plot better together a little bit more.
Yeah, so apparently canks were provided to Alexander so that he could make this potion, so that he could transport Agrippa around without killing him.
That's why we can't see the Cairns.
Because they're from another dimension.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, this is the choir entrance. According to the letter, the poisonous fungi should be here. The big one. Fungus. Poisonous fungus, that's plural. Singular.
So, no, I seriously love the whole... Can't see it because it's fourth dimensional being. I love that. That's such a cool idea.
Fourth? No. Wouldn't it just be extra dimensional?
Well, you wouldn't be able to see it properly either if it was fourth... Well, actually, no. See, it is more fourth dimensional because it can still interact with our world. If it was extra dimensional, it wouldn't be able to do that.
Okay, we got a note here. Torture bed of sorts.
15th of August, 1839. The blood wards are failing. The shadow beckons, and its cry disarms my actions. Hurry. No time to spare. You have to kill another. Alexander produces a knife. He wants me to cut the flesh. Do it. Save yourself. He is a murderer, Daniel. He is evil. A cold-blooded killer. Hurry. Alexander, you must let me be. I have to concentrate. Take the man, cut the lines, cut the flesh, watch the blood spill, let it come.
I don't know why they had to paint these lines. I'm assuming it's something to do with the ritual.
Please, I didn't do anything. Take the man, cut the lines, paint the man, cut the lines. Please, the man cries. Now you see. I did well. One life for another. You hear me, guardian of the orb? I did all this for you. Now, once more, with shadow from my domain.
I'm sorry, but that me part is just so out of place.
No, I think it's meant to. I think it's meant to kind of paint Alexander as being.
Well, no, that was Daniel talking.
That was Daniel talking?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
There isn't much time. I can feel it. We must act swiftly. I will do whatever it takes.
I'm sorry. I keep getting confused about which one, which is Alexander and which is.
Well, all of that was Daniel.
All of that was Daniel.
Sometimes he was describing what Alexander was telling him.
Okay.
Because it was all written on that note. Yeah, but Alexander has a much deeper voice.
Well, honestly, I was gonna say, for as many flaws as this game has, okay, it does do a very good job of kind of painting not Alexander, but Daniel as, you know, kind of combating the fact that he's now a murderer and all that. You understand? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's very human. Daniel's a very human character, and I do find that very, very good. I think a lot of games can benefit if they just bring up the question of, like, am I right in what I'm doing? And I think that makes it very powerful. Or maybe I'm just seeing things that aren't there. I don't know. Yeah, I remember this place. This is like,
Yeah.
yeah.
This place has very thick red fog.
What are my intentions, Daniel? Salvation. It used to be yours, but now you only seek misplaced revenge. How do you justify your violence? Is it for the greater good? Are you doing the world a service? It is you who caused all this pain and death. If you had accepted your fate and submitted to the orb when you first discovered it, none of this would have happened. It is curiosity in league with your selfishness that is killing us both.
Alexander, you know that is not the truth.
Well, Daniel did go along with it all willingly, just to save himself.
Here's the thing. That's the human response. Daniel did nothing that a normal human would not do.
I don't know. There are some people who would immediately give up their lives.
I don't know. I think outside of the most saintly of individuals, I don't think that would happen. I have faith in humanity in some cases, but I think in a situation as dire as this, there's not really much of a choice you have.
Well, what would have happened if he had just let the shadow take him right away? How would the story have differed? Would another person have come along to replace Daniel?
It wouldn't really have affected much of anything. Because even if Daniel had died, most likely Alexander would have found the orb anyway. Through somebody's use of it, right?
Real quick. I want to approach this thing. This was the only thing that scared me the first time I played this game.
Just that, really?
Yeah. It was very surprising.
Okay.
But yeah, I think we can, like, get in this. Okay. The forger stood absolutely still. The casket had been closed, but a faint light made its way inside. A myriad of spikes pointed at him, glittering as they waited for his body to slip just for a moment. His knee jerked and he felt blood trickle down his leg. In pain, his head fell slightly forward. It took him a while to realize his eye had ruptured and began to leak.
I cannot stand hearing stuff about eyes. I hate that.
Yeah, so even if you stand perfectly still, the game, just for the purpose of this scene, makes you take damage sometimes. Oh, never mind. I must be thinking of a custom story.
Okay.
Because there's another custom story that did this thing where, like, you have to relive all the torture devices and stuff.
Alright.
Experience them for yourself.
Is there any custom stories where you play as Alexander?
Surprisingly, no.
Really?
There are a lot of fan-made sequels to this game when you play as Daniel. Oh, here's a piece of the orb.
I don't know, I would think that that Alexander would be a good choice for a game. Because it's not like Alexander did nothing over the course of this game, you know?
There was something I learned, though.
What's that?
I always thought it was just a very well-received custom story, but it turns out it was actually expansion content for Amnesia.
What?
Amnesia Justine.
Amnesia Justine? I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to play that after this. Not immediately after this, but before Machine for Pigs.
But
Okay.
but what is it?
It's expansion content. It has extra stuff for people to make custom stories with, and a new story to go along with it. Completely unrelated to this, as far as I know.
Okay. So it has nothing to do with the orb or anything? It's just its own story?
Well, there might be an orb in it.
Okay.
Okay, wow, I'm having a lot of trouble seeing.
Yeah, it's really blurry.
Daniel is super insane right now.
Well, bring out your torch then. See if you can find some light to stare at for a little while. I mean, you can see a little bit better, I guess.
It's easier to control now. Yeah. Here's a bridge. Now, there's two big doors we opened back in Agrippa's room. Each one leads to an area like this, and each one has 3 rooms with 3 different torture devices. And there's a piece of the orb in each one. And I heard the brute, the moose call.
Find a way.
Huh? Was that...
Just more random memories.
Oh, just a random memory? Okay.
Okay, there's nothing over here.
Well, there's a torch there. Can you light it? And just stare at it for a little while?
I don't know how much it'll help.
It's helped pretty well, actually. What's going on? That's weird. It just kind of like shuddered around a bit. That's strange.
I think that was some kind of quake. But yeah, everything is still kind of warping.
Just a little. You can tell it's much easier to see, though.
No, he's around here somewhere. But he's really easy to evade. If you just stay out of sight and don't run.
Well, we got one piece of the orb. There's 6. total?
Okay. Right here is
Big fungus.
break open.
Ah.
There we go. Poison gland. And there, that recovered some of our sanity.
Do mushrooms have glands?
I don't know. But yeah, here's the bronze bowl, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Or the brass bowl. I don't know.
It was a real torture device. Don't know where it was used, though.
The traitor did not know what to think of the brass bowl as he was forced to enter it. Only when the heat of fire began to scorch his skin and cook his flesh did he realize it was to be his tomb. His screams of pain echoed inside the brass chamber and traveled to the complex instrument which was the bull's head. Outside, the men could hear the brazen bull bellow.
Bellow, yeah. Not balloon.
I didn't see the 2 L's.
Can you open it? Oh. Oh, it's getting the smoke. Okay.
Yeah, you can't open it anymore. Okay, somewhere around here.
There's the shard.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And that's all there is here.
Still.
So yeah, also each of the torture devices describes a different kind of sinner. Like there's a traitor and an arsonist and a murderer and a thief.
No, but seriously, I'm really confused now because so Alexander had access to an orb already. Why didn't he just reassemble his? I mean, was it too useful to get for the Vitae? Because he said that's what he used it for, right? Was extracting the Vitae?
You're still doing it.
That's not going to change, you know. That's literally, I can't pronounce it any other way. Yeah, I can pronounce it right if you say it first right.
Vitae.
Vitae. Just stop it, you.
Okay, the brute should be around here somewhere now. I know he's here somewhere. Just don't know where.
I just wish I could hear one of the NPCs say it. One of the 3 NPCs in this game.
Because there's pretty much only... Well, there's more than that. I mean, there was... Well, if you're talking about physically, then yeah, there's only 3 characters.
I wonder if Daniel even has a model. You think he does?
He has a hand.
Yeah, he does have a hand.
Can we get over there?
I don't know, did I ever mention to you about how in most games when they have a HUD of some kind, that HUD actually isn't attached to the camera? Did I ever tell you about that?
Isn't it just an overlay on the screen itself?
No, it's not. It's actually the actual pieces. Usually, I mean, some games do have it as an overlay on the screen, but most games just put the actual stuff on the in-game camera. So
The wheel is good for keeping your victims still during the procedure. They can be bound around the circumference or simply stretched across, tying limbs to the spokes and rim. All tools are by this point useful, and you may administer the torture in any way you like. But the forte of the wheel is the gaps. When you have decided that the victim shall die, you can smash their limbs with a hammer, making them fold in between the frame.
But they'll die. Too quickly, I mean.
No, don't worry. The human body is much more resilient. They can survive for days until they finally succumb.
And Alexander wonders why he was banished.
yeah. But what I mean by what I was saying is that actually you probably should do the scene first before I explain, because there'll be another scene, right? Yeah.
The murderer's limbs were tied to the spokes of the wheel. They turned the wheel slowly, but with intent, so the ropes secured around his leg stretched and cracked the bone. He no longer had the strength to scream. The 2 men looked at each other knowingly and took a hammer and struck the victim's chest in a final act of mercy.
You can just turn it. That's kind of funny.
It's really hard to, actually. To make it continuously turn in one direction. Oh, here we go.
Okay, that's better. Yep. I don't know why you want to turn it, but you just can.
I think you hear sounds if you turn it long enough. Maybe? No?
Yeah.
I think... Do I need some of this? Some of these ropes?
No.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna need some kind of string or rope eventually.
Yeah, I don't know if you get it from here, though. Oh, you can actually pick up the sledgehammer? Okay. That's heavy. But anyway, now that I got some time to explain. But if you had the camera, right, in a game that has a HUD element that is like the one I described, if you move the camera away from where your vision is, you'll notice that the HUD elements will just be floating in the middle of the game space. They won't scale or anything with you, because they are meant to move only when the camera does. So if you break that and just have a free camera, they won't follow properly. So they'll just sit in place and they won't go anywhere. It's kind of fascinating. You'd think that they'd just be an overlay on the actual screen, right? But that's not how they are. Not in a lot of games. Same with filters, like screen filters. They literally are just a separate filter that goes in front of your vision in the game, like a glass panel you're putting in front of your face. It's a lot simpler than game developers want to make you think it is.
Oh, I hear him again.
Yep, he's somewhere. He's somewhere
Did you
here.
see me? Oh, I think I was looking at him when I poked my head around.
You think? I don't know, man.
Oh, there he is. It's over there. Okay, let's just go this way then. If we move slowly, he won't hear us.
Wouldn't it be so dumb if there was somebody out there who refused to say the Final Fantasy games in any way other than just pronouncing the Roman numerals?
Like FFV
Yeah.
or VII or something like that.
Yeah, there's Final Fantasy V and then Vi. Final Fantasy X. That'd be so dumb.
Oh god, can you imagine somebody seeing Final Fantasy X for the first time, never having heard of the series, and thinking that it was called Final Fantasy X? Like Mega Man X? Because that game is not Mega Man 10. I wonder how many people actually make those mistakes.
Mega Man X was not a very clear, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Not enough to separate the two, I should say. What would be a better name for it?
EX?
EX? I don't know. Yeah, so that's the first area finished, right?
Yeah, now we go over here.
Find him.
You found Vaya's recipe.
Wait, what?
There might still be a chance. Listen carefully. Alexander is working on opening a gate, a door to another world. It's where he wants to go. If you could put your anger aside, let him open the portal before you take your revenge. Let me pass the gate then. Please, find the ingredients and prepare the tonic Vaya describes. And do so before you assemble the ore. The barrier keeping you from the inner sanctum will only be breached for a short time. Unless everything is taken care of before mending the ore, you won't be able to save me.
Yeah, so that's why the best ending is missable. Because if you go too far without making the tonic, then you won't be able to bring him with you.
Yeah, but, okay, well, we're not there yet. I won't spoil it. I'll wait until we're closer to it.
Yeah, but there's a cank down in that well.
Yep.
And there's a rope that you can lower down into it, but if you do that, nothing will happen. It's not interested in a rope.
Yeah, so you gotta put, like, something on the rope, right?
Yeah, something tasty.
What exactly are we trying to get from the character? That weird fourth dimensional stuff, right?
Some kind of, just some of its DNA, I guess. Its saliva will do. Yeah, so there's 4 ways to go here.
How much more, Baron? How much more am I supposed to withstand? Kill me, Alfred! Kill me!
This one. Prepare him.
Yeah, of course, those 3 ways will each go to a different torture chamber, but let's go upstairs first. This is another thing I was really stuck on for a long time. Because there's an item up here that I didn't notice. Yeah, but here's a painting of Alexander.
No.
Still not insane enough for it to change, but that might change in a bit.
Perhaps. We should probably show off the painting when it changes, so at least we'll try to. There's the rope.
Yeah, I didn't notice this was here the first time. And a note. Notes on torture. There are quite a few things to be said about torture. I had figured that the reaction I would get from the victims would be highly individual. Thankfully, this is not the case. The humans all have a very similar approach to dealing with physical pain and the terror of anticipation. I can't stress enough the importance of restraining the victims before proceeding. Even the most timid creature can break out in fits of violence where their strength exceeds their expected prowess. If proper care has been put into breaking the victim, this should not be a problem, but it will also hinder the effect I am after. The right steps to take are, therefore, to restrain the victim while the victim is dazed, proceed by presenting the form of torture you are about to apply, and then to continue with the actual act. The point of presentation is to infuse terror. The human mind is extremely efficient, as it will trigger itself into greater fear simply by imagining it. While applying pain, make sure to avoid massive damage, as it will prove more efficient if the process can be sustained. Also apply the pain in doses, if possible with breaks to let the body settle. If you are whipping or cutting the victim, strike once, wait for the pain to subdue, then strike again. As long as the body suffers, it will continue to produce the vitae and saturate the blood with its properties. Only with careful performance will the victim yield maximum effect. If the victim doesn't behave as expected, it is likely that all will be for naught. Before this happens, feed them the amnesia drink and try again later.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's where the amnesia drink came from. They were using it to make victims forget about their torture so that they could try again if they didn't screw with their heads enough.
What's in the big door?
Just a sec.
Oh, it's a memory capsule.
Yep.
Okay.
Is it you, my love, I miss the most, or is it perhaps myself? I know what I have become. I am not blind. I am a monster to them, a demonic sultan perched on the dark mountaintop. There is little I can do to redeem myself. The Black Eagle fears me, and after Napoleon's defeat, it is only a matter of time before they will demand my head on a platter. I must remove myself from this land. This time it must work. If I can't return home now, I shall perish.
But see, here's the thing, though. Why did Alexander have to go with all these, like...
What happened to her?
Okay. Why did he have to go through with all these, Vitae experiments when he didn't... Well, he's always had an orb, but his broke. So has he been always trying to avoid the,
Shadow?
himself?
I guess so. Should I try and decrease my sanity as much as possible and show off this painting?
I'm sure you'll be insane enough when you get back out. It doesn't really matter, though. We could just explain what it looks like. Or you can just sit in darkness for a while. I mean, because you are afraid of the dark, right?
Oh yeah, I can just do this. Come on. Oh, what's this one all about?
I don't know what this one is.
The kidnapper sat on her knees with her hands tied behind her back. She felt her hands being lifted and her body followed. Her shoulders gave way to the weight of her own body and cracked loudly. The suspended woman cried hysterically as the men contemplated their next step.
That's incredibly brutal.
I'm not entirely sure what's going on.
Oh, well, okay, so basically what it's doing, right? There should be a diagram. So you can see the diagram. Yeah, see? You following?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because, like, your arms aren't supposed to go up that way. Like, in the back or whatever. Unless you're, like, exceptionally dexterous.
Here's the orb piece.
Yo, that orb must be pretty freaking big. Hey, look, you're more insane.
Yep. Nice and wobbly.
Yep, so you should be able to,
Barely see my way through the darkness.
Yep.
God, you know, I always thought that those weird video coloring effects were just caused by recording it and seeing it in the recording. Like it's rendering improperly. But that's actually how it looks in the game.
Oh my gosh. It's so hard to climb this stairway.
I guess I have to say that I'm no longer in a funk.
There
we go.
Yeah.
This is Alexander's true form.
Yeah, basically. So, he's some sort of weird alien thing. No eyes. Yeah.
No real teeth either. They just kind of fold into his mouth.
Well, that's what Agrippa looks like.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Only Agrippa has eyes.
Yeah, Agrippa does have eyes.
Okay, let's get this out.
Yeah, but that is his true form.
Okay.
I still think that,
That's a good place to stop this one.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, we actually are at 30 minutes. Okay.
Yep. So, thank you all so very much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because we really appreciate it. If you want to support us on Patreon, there'll be an end card at the end of the video and a link in the description below, alongside links to our social media and Tyler's Twitch account.
I hope you come and see me.
So, we'll see you all in the next video.
Bye, guys. What the heck? What are you doing? How's it so far behind?
I got good.
Wait, what did you do? Seriously, how'd you do that?
I got good.
Did you glitch?
No, I got good.
Seriously, I don't know how that happened. Like, what? Seriously, what happened?
I got good.